That was a gun.
I'm not voting.
If we want to build our nation.
The problem with the Somalians.
Just want to experience something else than a black man.
Move on, move
Can't be like a horse with blinkers on.
Honestly say, I was about to have sex and then I pulled
crap,
up.
but it's nice.
My name is Gordon, and who am I?
I'm Pearly. I can't make anything.
Somehow I don't think that's really true.
I'm a journalist.
I'm Shadow. I wear so many hats. I'm not too sure what it is that I do, but I'm a cultural activist, yeah. That's what I am.
I'm Beezy. I'm pretty much also a cultural activist. My focus is in trying to scrape canvases, throwing all sorts of substances over them, trying to make sense of them.
I'm Molly. It's my first time visiting South Africa. I'm Ethiopian and I live in the United States.
I'm Nick. I'm a number of different things: a father, a political analyst, an ex-farmer, an ex-political activist. I was in the anti-apartheid movement for a long time, and a good friend of Beezy's.
I'm Maureen Leroux, and I'm passionate about South Africa, and I'm in awe to observe and to be actively looking at the tapestry. And wow. So we're privileged as we're sitting around this table because we come from a certain economic background. We know each other. There are times which we socialize together. So our stereotyping is different.
We became financially complacent.
Totally. As we said previously in our channel, the two of us were talking. That
Exactly.
we were
please,
yes,
not me.
Hello. But we were also active, overthrowing apartheid. Where are our activeness now of really looking at this, because we are stereotyping still. The issue I'm very concerned.
But that's part of human nature. Truly. There are people who will stereotype. They need to know what they're dealing with. And if they don't know you, they'll take one look at you and they'll say, you know what? Don't need to know you. So long as I can call you by this name, it's fine. That's all I need.
Fit in.
Hey you. You know, whatever the you is.
But maybe I'm more idealistic person, maybe a socialist or that.
Do you think you're a socialist at heart?
Yes, I am.
You see, those are the labels again that make the problem. What are socialists? We need to unpack all of these things so that when we speak and say things to each other, we know we're getting the same meaning, or you're transporting or transmitting what you mean. Because it's so nice to sit under.
How about living in the world where all isms are wasms?
Yeah.
Wasms, yes, I like that.
All isms are wasms.
Wasms, yes. No, that.
We'll drink to that.
Now we're from Wellington. Let me tell you something very nice from Wellington. I've been born in Wellington. In the scheme, very proud. Across the railway line.
Have there always been railways in all townships?
Yeah, in Wellington.
My home.
Railway
always
seem to determine the class.
My home is just.
By the way, I was born firmly on the wrong side of the tracks. And
Wrong way, Gordon.
dining out. Beg your pardon. And I've been dining out
What,
on it
Goodwood?
forever.
Goodwood.
Rondebosch East.
Yes!
Like
Yes,
totally the wrong side.
Khaleds will say
Rondebosch
Rondebosch East.
And the whiteys who are apologising for
Yes,
themselves.
and they will say, the whiteys will say, wrong side.
It's
The uppity colours
it's
will
what's
say,
called a sliding
right
scale.
side.
A sliding scale.
That's good.
Molly, you have that obsession with race and class, where you come from. I mean, we can't.
You mean me personally?
In
just
Ethiopia,
kind of
they did
your-
race and class on a
you
scale
have
which
your
you couldn't
baggage,
cannot
with your
imagine.
country.
But do people have it? Yes, they do.
Around the world.
Yeah, around the world they do.
No, but in Ethiopia.
Yes, they do. I mean, in Ethiopia, people do.
There's a
have.
class difference.
Oh, yes, definitely.
Are there different castes, or is it just class?
Class
between tribes.
Class and
families.
there's also different tribes, different races.
tribes.
Yeah.
I just want to say something. Last week, I went to UCT, the University of Cape Town, to a talk around. It was called White Fears and Black Rights, and the title White Fears and Black Rights. Sorry, I speak like the Antwoord. White fears and black rights.
No, darling, white.
White.
Say the age.
My hair, my white. Anyway, they were talking about.
The candle when you say
So
white.
it was a lot of predominantly, I would guess, black people in the audience. They were young. They were students.
What gave it away? They were black.
I mean, what was amazing for me was that I suddenly, for the first time in my life, and I'm way over 40, I thought, race is a smokescreen. It's a decoy. It just blurs.
Totally.
Actually, class is our thing. Because I listened to those black kids. They got up, the way they spoke. I mean, they spoke like a Mlungu. They spoke, well, they all started their sentences saying we were in a private school.
Precisely.
And all my default button is I can feel my hair rising and kind of going, I go really common. I kind of also lower my head a bit. I go Wellington.
That is precisely that.
And we use
I want to
race.
see the Wellington bit. How do you go?
She hunches like a rugby player.
You just pull your
Like a
head
rugby
down.
player. It's not so
But what's making you cringe like that?
No, it's not cringe at all.
Anger.
It's not cringe. It's kind of like
red to a
but
bull.
it's the first time in my life that I thought race actually in this country, and maybe it's not about race. It's class.
But
it is about yes, it is. It is about
No.
I agree with
What Shadow was saying earlier about the various kinds of disadvantage. We're speaking about and whether that's becoming a victim. We're living in a society that defines race very specifically in the law. The previous, as you were defined under apartheid, which had very specific definitions.
She's black.
And the state related
Who
to
says
each.
that? The law.
Yeah. Well, that's a big issue, but
It's a
the
big
state
issue to
the
me.
state related to each person differently, and those categories live on in where people live, how they think, who they vote for. In the Western Cape,
it's
the
true.
coloured people vote for the DA. Mostly.
Let us just, okay, I have an issue. I was still trying to tell about the Wellington Bells, the church, yes. But it's wonderful now that, you know how we are conditioned where South Africa is now. Just to explain something, in the rural town, we come from Wellington. The main church is the NG Kerk, die doppers, no? Now, Andrew Murray
sits there.
Yes, so Andrew Murray, I used to paint him purple in the apartheid era. Yes.
Was it you?
It was us.
What?
Yes.
My family went berserk.
Yes. And now we're united. We are united sitting at the dinner table with Andrew Murray. But just how things haven't changed. Our constitution is there. Now the NG Kerk and the VGK, the VGK was for the colored people, the same dogma, the same church. You follow the same things. Now just across the road is the white NG Kerk. I go home just for observation. You know, it's 10 o'clock, the bell rings for the colored community to go to their church. 10:30, the bell rings for the white community to go to church. So we're asking ourselves now. This is now.
When does the black community
was
get to
like,
go to church?
No, those heathens don't go to church.
No, they don't count. We don't
get to me. No. What do they know about God? What do they know about God?
Let me say to you, Mbakweni is outside of.
Well, Mbakweni is Paul's problem.
No.
It's not a Wellington problem.
No, they say it's a Paul problem. But you see how we go where we're comfortable
Your
with.
domination.
That's it.
Abomination.
But Marlene, if that was the case, why don't the 4 million coloureds in Cape Town say, fuck you, we are black?
Because they're not American.
But no,
they're not American.
They're
but you know, it's that
there are 52% of the population.
You know what? Can I answer your question? Hang on. I want to answer your question. I just worked it out. No, let me first answer, then you can. Let me just try this. You know why? Because they're too busy saying, fuck you, I'm white.
No, I disagree. Let me tell you. I think where people goes all wrong is put coloured people under one banner.
Yeah, Marjorie.
It's like, yes,
of course. I agree with you.
but it's not. There's Afrikaans speakers, there's Muslims, there's Anglicans,
The whole works.
all the religions. Then there's persons that came from St. Helena. Then we have the slaves, all of that. You can't, no,
can't box them.
You can't box, and that is where.
all black people.
No,
That's what she's trying to do.
box
though.
anybody.
She's-
You can't box whiteys as well.
That's what she's trying to box the coloureds. You're saying, why can't they say they're black? And that's boxing them.
I think there's something that's more deep-seated in our country that we've inherited, unfortunately. I know people that are darker than me, have tougher hair than mine, cannot speak an African language because in order to survive those years, apartheid years, had to change their names and behavior and everything, their whole culture, to be identified as a colored person because they got better rights, etc., etc. Now, they brought their children up in that manner. And it is not easy today because we've gone and voted for them to turn around and say, you know, weet jy wat? Ek is swart. You know, you can't expect
pull that card.
You can't pull that card because you've got relatives, you've got the string, you know, you can't. So I also think that it is upon us as individuals that feel we understand democracy better, we understand what our constitution and our rights are giving us. I think this is when we stop using those divisive terms and start showing commonalities amongst people.
Start thinking
you
out
know,
the box.
the churches, for instance, the Engier and the Virkia. Let's change that 10:30 and 10 o'clock.
All isms are
and
wasms.
let them come together now and understand.
That's why I think race is a red herring.
No, but you still also
No,
now
you're absolutely right. It's a red herring.
Yeah, but
she's saying the same
no,
thing.
No, but she's replacing race with class. Don't replace it with anyone. No, don't replace it with anything. If you're taking race away, let's not put another label there, which is going to prolong.
No.
Let's find.
Hang on, shut it. Ideally, take class away. But realistically, what Pearlie's saying is that class remains in the absence of the race distinction.
Well, we'll get there.
At this stage.
No, we'll get there because this is what is...
We will get there.
This is what is imprisoning us at the moment.
Yeah, exactly.
With apartheid written away, written off, there's now become a class and an economical hierarchy that lives better and, you know...
I think what you are confusing is how we would like things to be, and I feel very strongly we would all like them to be, but with how they are and how they're going to remain. And how they are is powerfully determined, but it's still powerfully determined by the racial categorizations of apartheid.
Of course. Yes.
At the macro level, coloured Indians, whites, coloured Indians, whites. That people live, yes, there are different coloureds who vote differently. There are different blacks who vote differently, but an overwhelming African black South Africans vote for the ANC. Overwhelming number of coloureds vote for the DA, likewise whites, and then the Indians splitting it in different ways. Those are lived material realities of those people that cut across class barriers. All Africans vote for the ANC. Not obviously absolutely all, not obviously not
vast majority,
but and that those big statistical conglomerations of people are lived material realities of the world. And we can, as individuals, cross them and sit at the table, and we don't experience our lives like that. But you step back at the big figures and how people behave and aggregate behavior.
Why do they go there? Why do you think?
I think because the past has weight, and language, and family, and the memories of dead heroes, and
if I
that stuff.
Yes, if I can support you.
The past is weight. I like that.
It's your narrative. Your parents give you a story, and this is what we've done with our lives, and this is where you are born now, and this is your. So they hand over a narrative, and you are born, and
what's the responsibility of the political parties and government? Not even government, political parties, and what we understand by our democracy, because. I'm thinking we part of the population, or the majority of the population that votes, hardly know what to expect or how to make that decision to vote. That's why it's an emotional thing of that narrative. But if we taught people enough about a democracy, the right way that it should be, then people will make a choice.
You voted. It was a wonderful feeling in 1994 because you voted for so many things that you stood for.
You voted for a dream.
You voted really for a dream. That dream actively is now underplaying itself in front of you, and you're living a little bit of a nightmare. I believe what you're saying about democracy. If we're not going to look at education, because poverty doesn't know color. It's a
poverty knows color in this country.
Can I stop you there for a minute and let's go back to what you voted for, which was the dream, as you say. And now you say you're living in an almost nightmarish state. It's because, you know, you handed over your powers and handed over everything you believed in, which is what took you to the voting station in the first place. You kind of removed and shifted that responsibility to somebody else, the person you voted for. We discontinued our causes when we went to vote. We've got nothing that we cared for. We're sitting back. We don't participate.
You're handing over to the politicians.
We handed over in 1994.
With
and
your
we
vote.
sit here and moan and say, oh, they're not doing this.
Why did you do that with my
Why
cross?
aren't they, why aren't they? What are we doing? Because we brought them to the polls in 1994. Each and every one of us contributed to the new government coming into power.
Of course we did.
But we did nothing afterwards.
No, I will disagree with you. There are some of us that did a hell of a lot, that was pushed aside and not really looking at civil society, where government is supposed to be a monitoring and evaluation.
That's what Shara is saying.
Yes, what I'm saying, but there are civil society that was in the trenches. I don't want to diminish what they were trying to do. They were marginalized, number one. They were seen as dissonants. We've seen it every time. Now, I think it's important for us to take back that immediately. And we're talking about vote. And I think that is why I can only speak for myself. You're sitting and you're asking yourself, are you at a crossroad? And it's something that hangs.
But wasn't that crossroad in 1994?
Marlene,
no.
But why wasn't it in 1994?
A crossroad for me,
no, 20 years later?
For me, was I clearly voted. I clearly knew who am I going to vote.
That was in 1994.
Yes, that wasn't a crossroad for me. That was a clear decision for me.
So what's the crossroad then? Just clarify what the crossroad is.
But what I'm also trying to say is in 1994, yes, there were people in the trenches. There were, the people that are being called dissidents, etc. Now, I'm saying we lived under worse conditions and still succeeded under the apartheid government. Where is our resilience to fight again for what we believe in and change the status quo? I think that's what we lost. I mean, we just sit back now, and it's easier to say, "Oh, that's stupid, Julius Malema," and make jokes about him failing woodwork.
Well,
it's got nothing to do with anything.
That's what.
But if we
used to do back in the day is, or shall I say, liberal white folks or liberated white folks, they used to go, and you put in a name, Eugene or whoever. Okay? And that's one of the ugly legacies of apartheid, is it doesn't matter whether the boss is white or black. The people are now still saying, let Big Brother or Big Daddy take care of it. It doesn't matter what it is.
Yeah, but yes.
I don't live in a country, people are saying, where I can change things through simple force might of my citizenship.
But no people in the world live in a country like that.
I'm not so sure.
Where?
The people of India, for example, changed their history through sheer force of numbers back in those days.
If you live in a... No.
Or shall I say, one of the messages of struggle was you could make the country ungovernable by not doing stuff, or by doing stuff
by doing the wrong stuff.
By doing the wrong stuff. By being resistant.
They became really good at that.
And we continue to do it.
We became masters of that.
Exactly. But you can burn tires, you can do those kinds of things. But that's just a few people, believe it or not. There's a larger thinking group
who want to build schools,
who want to build and do stuff. No, you just want to build the country.
Yes.
And those are the people that are capable. We've got lots of capable people in this country. Lots of qualified, capable people who just need that to gather each other and make a difference. And you and I can make a difference in the everyday things we do.
From every
The
single
everyday
background
things
and
we
walk of
do.
life,
What you do,
who put
if
up
it's
with
about
a
cooking.
lot of shit because they expect leaders to be corrupt, to be heavy-handed.
No, but let me give you the positive, my brother. Let me give you the positive. You and I have a role to build this country.
Yes.
You and I have a role to build this country, not because Beezy is going to come with you or me, but as individuals. When we wake up in the morning, the things that we do as part of our work, as part of our job, the people that we interact with on a daily basis, can be a country growing kind of mission that you're on. And you know what? When you do that, you gather moss. You gather other people that are like-minded and do the right,
The Rolling Stones.
Yes, and then we do the right things. I think that's you would like to.
I mean, what I was going to ask of Molly is what she thinks of all of this. I mean, here's a lady who comes from Ethiopia.
Very interesting. I'm learning a lot. I'm really learning.
But what can you share with
maybe she would announce Molly as being a descendant of Haile Selassie, the Emperor Haile Selassie, which is a great King of Kings, Lord of Lords. No, but really, Rastafari. I mean, really. But really, it's an honor to have Molly here tonight in my house.
Thank you.
And then to meet South Africans and have this discussion and have Molly say what she needs to say in this context.
The problem is, we didn't have this problem in my country. We never had this kind of problem. But it's very interesting for me to listen to what everybody's...
But when you say problem, maybe you didn't get to the stage where you were allowed to have these discussions.
No, we have racial problems in a way, but it's because of different sort of ethnic groups, etc. But that's it.
Same thing.
But it's not as like black
cut and dry.
White, cut and dry. Yeah, it's not.
Neither is ours.
We're all the same color. So there's no problem.
Let me ask about my ignorance. My ignorance. Are there white people in Ethiopia?
No, they're guests. They're guests. I mean,
they're guests
of the country. Yeah. They're always happy. They're not settlers.
How did you manage that?
Because they never run
by
the show.
fighting wars and winning them.
Maybe.
One guest, one
yeah,
I like what you're saying about white and black is no longer as important. People, we live in a global village. Not a single one of us can claim to be pure.
No,
100%.
Pure
whatever.
Hang on a second. What is pure?
Nobody.
What is
No.
That is red.
No, but that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. None of us can claim because there's
What is
people who
pure?
want people want their Buddha folk because
They think they're pure.
They think they're pure. It's for them only.
No, they don't.
Why do they want their own space?
Just because it's not about purity.
No, but it's because they don't want the black
people
ones.
or black people or whatever. It's just this kind of, I will die white in this fucking country.
But what? But how do you relate to being white? How do you relate to being white? It's a pigmentation story.
Because this is my skin.
Yeah. But if your skin makes you then...
What is this?
If your
I
skin...
am unspeakably hurtful of being white.
No. That's not what we're asking. 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 What I'm asking is...
I really want to finish the sentence.
Okay, finish.
It is not about the unbearable heaviness of being white. It is just about being caught in a country obsessed with skin color.
Well, that's what I'm talking about.
It is. I can never.
That's what I'm talking about.
It's an obsession. It's not an obsession that we choose to have.
It's an obsession we've inherited.
When in the last election, the polling all indicated that urban African women did not like Zuma. They did not like. They did not like.
But you see, that's dangerous.
No way.
That's dangerous. No, that's dangerous.
Let me just say this.
Let him talk.
The polling indicated that urban African women didn't like the polygamy thing, and they didn't like, and that the polls were all predicting that they would split from the ANC. None of them did. And I've heard, it's completely anecdotal. People sat But the women sitting in that polling booth and saying, I'm not going to vote for this, and then looking at who am else going to vote for? I am ANC. I'm going to vote for the ANC.
And I see I can't wait for this white woman with a blonde hair.
Going back to the South Africanness about, you know.
But we are
again, no. But you see, these polls and the research and the numbers, that is the danger, because they get quoted and then they become truth. They become truth. And I'd like to believe that we use them where it's necessary to count those, but we can think beyond that. We can't make generalizations like that, okay?
But we have too many holy cows in all of us sitting here. And the holy cows is that when you go, and I'm just going to make a generalization, sorry for this, but I was exposed now, I'm Afrikaans. Just in Afrikaans you say tongval. Tongval, the way I speak Afrikaans, pronunciation is different. But every single thing of culture we share. Yeah? So where's the difference? As common South Africans. Now, when it is and this is the danger that we are going in. We haven't addressed the holy cows of culture. Because we're frightened because it is an unknown, but it's also dear. It's an unset rule. So if there is something unsavory in a culture, we don't go there because it's my culture. And it's in every one of us there.
But Marlene, that's what I was trying to talk about when I said it is up to us. That's why I made, again, the analogy of the churches. You know, there's such commonality, more commonality than anything else in that community. They divide it by half an hour. The other one's bell rings at 10. The other one's bell rings at 10:30.
But that's what I really like about our president slipping into tackies and animal skins.
As a Louis Vuitton. So I say, we have now been determined by capitalism, where the Louis Vuitton headband even goes into the cultural sphere.
My dream is to give each and every South African their dignity back. And the only way we can do that is by recognizing and growing the celebration of cultures.
My dream is to not have to have these categories and historical consequences, or the weight of history imposed upon my children. I wish that my two boys, who are 10 and 14, never have to feel that they carry with them the advantage, the weight, the guilt, and the consequences of apartheid. I deny it. I will fight that.
I wish not for harmony, but for understanding.
My dream for South Africa is that everybody will come to an understanding at some point and very soon. And I hope it will be a very peaceful understanding of each other.
I think that the dream of South Africa is already being lived, and at every time that we think we're in serious trouble, from our new democracy to this near war after Eugene de Blanche's expose, and Julius Maleva's very quiet trip to South America. I mean, no one knows anything about his trip to South America. Is that South Africans are survivors, and that we are the generation of Nelson Mandela and all his teachings for 20 years, and our culture is so rich and so united that any fucking corrupt politician can go and carry on eating shit at the trough.
My dream is, I would so love to live the bearable lightness of being.
My dream is that South Africans realize that if they want to live the great vision, they're going to have to do so with authenticity and with responsibility. It's not about Julius, it's not about Jacob, it's not about any person in authority, it's not even about a doctrine or a constitution. Actually, people need to stop going, yeah, you did this and you're responsible that you... No. Authentic and taking responsibility.